welcome to You Can't Take It With You. Tonight, we'll be hosting you in the Sycamore family home. Yes, but before we get into that, I'd like to tell you about some things that would push our buttons just a little bit. Now, seeing as this is the 1930s and, well, cell phones don't exist yet, please refrain from using them and just no flash photography as the actors are startled quite easily. And also just silence them in general, please. And then at intermission, you can find some freshly baked goods from Reva's Kitchen just down the hall in the cafeteria. There will also be some punch, and it will all be for a donation cost of $1. Please excuse Kalenkov's friend, a Russian wrestler, as he is right now hosting a tournament in the gym. Please just ignore that and just keep walking past to the cafeteria. And now Sawyer will pray for us.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for this amazing evening that you've given to us. Thank you for getting everybody here safely. I pray that you would calm the nerves of all the actors that are performing tonight, and that you give us the strength to perform well. I pray that you would be with the audience and help them to enjoy this show. And I also pray that you would bring all of our gifts and talents to praise and honor you, God. We thank you and we love you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Enjoy the show. Kitchen's hot. What, Essie?
I said, the kitchen's awful hot. That new candy I'm making, it just won't ever get cool.
Do you have to be making candy today, Essie? I mean, it's such an awful hot day.
Well, I got all those new orders. Ed went out and got a bunch of new orders.
My. If it keeps on, I suppose you'll be opening up a store soon.
That's what Ed was saying last night. But I said no. I want to be a dancer.
And the only trouble with dancing is, well, that it takes so long. I mean, you've been studying for such a long time.
Only 8 years. After all, Mother, you've been writing plays about 8 years, haven't you? We started about the same time, didn't we?
Yes, but you shouldn't count my first 2 years, because I was learning to type.
I think the candy is hardening up now, Miss Essie.
Oh, thanks, Reba. I'll bring some in. Mother, I want you to try it.
Did you finish the second act, Miss Sycamore?
What, Reba?
I said, did you finish the second act?
Oh no, I've just got Cynthia entering the monastery.
But she was at the Kit Kat, wasn't she?
Well, she gets tired of the Kit Kat Club, and then there's this monastery, so she goes there.
Do they let her in?
Oh yes, I made it Visitor's Day, so of course anyone can come.
Oh.
Yes, so she arrives on Visitor's Day and just stays.
You mean she stays all night?
Oh yes, she stays 6 years.
6 years. Ma, I bet she bust that monastery wide open.
6 years later.
Mr. DePino,
Yeah?
Mr. DePino, will you bring up one of those new skyrockets, please? I want to show them to Mrs. Sycamore.
Sure.
Penny, look at these new firecrackers we just made. We can make them 10 strings for a cent. Listen. Nice, huh?
Yes, Paul, dear, were you ever in a monastery?
No, I wasn't. But wait till you see these new skyrockets. Gold stars, and then blue stars, and then bombs, and then a balloon. Mr. DePina thought of the balloon.
Sounds lovely. Did you do all of that today?
Sure. We made up a... Oh. Thank you, mister. Look, we can make them 18 cents and sell them for 50. How many do you think we can make before the 4th of July, Mr. DePina?
Well, we've got 2 weeks yet. What day are you going to bring the stuff up to Mount Vernon?
About a week. You know, we're going to need a larger booth this year. So come on, we're not through yet.
Look, Mr. Sycamore, I'm afraid the powder chamber is just a little bit close to the balloon.
But we have the stars and the bombs in between.
But that don't give the balloon time enough. A balloon needs plenty of time.
All right, come on. Let's go down in the cellar and try it.
All right.
Mr. Pinna, if the girl you loved entered a monastery, what would you do?
Oh, I don't know, Mrs. Sycamore. It's been so long.
Miss Alice gonna be home tonight, Miss Sycamore?
What? Oh, I don't know, Reba. Maybe.
Well, I'll set a place for her anyway. But she's only been home one night this entire week.
Yes, I know.
Miss Essie is making some mighty good candy. She's doing something new with coconuts.
Uh-huh. That's nice.
Let's see. 6. And Mr. Pinna. And if Mr. Kolenkoff comes, that makes 8, don't it? I'd better set for 8.
Reba, I think I'm going to put this play away for a while and go back to my war play.
I always liked that one, the war play. Boom, boom!
They'll be better when they're harder, Mother, but try one. I want to know what you think.
They look lovely. What do you call them?
I think I'll call them Love Dreams.
That's nice. I'm going back to the war play, Essie. What do you think?
Oh, are you, Mother?
Yes, I sort of got myself stuck in a monastery and I can't get out.
Oh, well, it'll come to you, Mother. Remember how you got out of that brothel? The snakes look hungry. Did Reba feed them?
I don't know. Reba, did you feed the snakes yet?
No. But Donald's coming, and he always brings the flies with him.
Well, make sure you feed them before Grandpa gets home. You know how fussy he is about them.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, and here, take Groucho and Harpo into the kitchen with you. I'll have one love dream.
Well, Mr. DePina was right about the balloon being too close to the powder.
Want a love dream, Father? They're on the table.
No thanks, I gotta go wash.
I'm going back to the war play, Paul.
Oh, that's nice. We're gonna put stars after the bombs, and then the balloon. That's it.
You know, Mr. Kalinkoff says I'm his most promising pupil.
You'd think with 40 monks and one girl that something would happen.
Essie, hey, Essie.
I like that, Ed. Did you write it?
No,
well, Beethoven.
Sounds lovely. Got a lot of you in it. I made those new candies this afternoon, Ed.
Yeah?
You can take them around tonight.
All right, now here's the finish. This is me. How was that?
That's fine. Remember when Kalinkov comes, will you?
Ed, dear, why don't you and Essie have a baby? I was thinking about it just the other day.
Oh, I don't know. We could have one if you wanted us to. What about it, Essie? Do you want to have a baby?
Oh, I don't care. I'm willing if Grandpa's okay with it.
Let's ask
Labor play, religious play, romance play. I know it's here someplace.
I was right about the balloon. It was too close to the powder.
him. Anything you want printed, Mr. DePinna? How about some more calling cards?
Oh, no thanks. I still got the first 1,000.
Well, call on somebody, will you?
All right.
What have we got for dinner, Reba? I'm ready to print the menu.
Let's see, cornflakes, watermelon, some of these candies Miss Essie made, and some kind of meat. I forget.
I think I'll set up in bold-faced Cheltenham. You know, if I'm going to take those new candies around, I'd better print up some descriptive matter after dinner.
And do you really think anybody reads those things? That you put in those candy boxes, I mean. Oh, here it is. Poison gas. Oh, that must be Donald. Look at you smile, Reba.
The boyfriend, eh, Reba?
They're awfully cute. Donald and Reba. Sort of like Porgy and Bess.
Donald!
Evening, everybody.
Hi, Donald. How have you been?
I'm pretty good, Mr. Ag. How you been, Miss Sycamore?
Just fine. Donald,
Yes, sir?
were you ever in a monastery?
No, I don't go place much. I'm on leave.
Oh, that's right. I suppose, sorry.
Here are the flights, Reba. Got a big mess of them today.
You sure did.
I see you've been working, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, yes, indeed.
How's Grandpa?
Oh, he's just all right. He's over at Columbia this afternoon. The commencement addresses.
My. The years certainly do roll around.
M-E-A-T. What's he go there for all the time, Penny?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's all so handy, just around the corner and all.
Oh, Donald! Mr. DePinna and I are going to take the fireworks up to Mount Vernon next week. Do you think you could give us a hand?
Yes, sir. Only, I can't take no money for them this year. Because if the government finds out I'm working, they'll get sore.
Ed, I had a wonderful idea in the bathroom just now. I was reading Trotsky. It's yours, isn't it?
Yeah, I left it there.
Who is it?
Trotsky, the Russian Revolution.
Oh,
Anyhow, it struck me what a great fireworks idea it is. Do you guys remember the last days of Pompeii?
oh yes. Palisades Park. That's where we met.
Well, I'm going to do the revolution, a full-hour display.
Say.
Why, Paul, that's wonderful.
The red fire is the flag, huh?
Sure, and the Tsar and the Cossacks
And the praying of the slaves?
no, Donald, the Russian Revolution. Hello, Grandpa.
Well, sir, you should have been there. That's all I can say. You should have been there.
Was it a nice commencement, Grandpa?
Yep. Wonderful. They get better every year. You don't know how lucky you are, you're snakes.
Big class this year, Grandpa? How many were there?
Oh, must have been about 2 acres. Everybody graduated. Yes, sir, and much funnier speeches than they had last year.
You want to listen to a good speech? You go up and hear Father Divine.
Oh, I'll wait. They'll have them at Columbia.
Donald, can you go and tell Reba that Grandpa's home and that we won't be waiting for Alice?
Yes, Reba! Grandpa's home! We can have dinner!
We made a new skyrocket today, Grandpa. Wait till you see it.
Evening, Grandpa.
Evening, Mr. DePina.
Didn't we make a fine rocket today, Mr. DePina?
You certainly did.
I wonder why they never have fireworks at commencements.
Don't make enough noise. You take a good commencement order, and I'll drown out a whole carload of fireworks. And say just as much, too.
Don't the graduates ever say anything?
No, they just sit there in a cap and nightgown, get their diplomas, and along about 40 years suddenly say, "Where am I?"
Hello, Grandpa. Have a nice day.
Hello, have a nice day. Don't even get kissed.
Excuse me, Grandpa.
I'll take a tomato, too. You know, I could have used a couple of these at the commencement this afternoon.
Father?
No thanks.
Mother?
Oh, no thank you, dear.
I'll play something, Ed.
There was a letter that came for you, Grandpa. Did you get it?
Letter for me. I don't know anybody.
It was for you, though. Had your name on it.
That's funny. Where is it?
I don't know. Where's Grandpa's letter, Mother?
What?
Where's the letter that came for Grandpa last week?
I don't know. But I do remember seeing the kittens on it.
Who was it from? Did you notice?
Yes, it was on the outside.
Well, who was it?
United States government.
Really? Wonder what they wanted.
There was one before that, too, from the same people. There was a couple of them.
Well, if any more come, I wish you'd give them to me.
Yes, Grandpa.
I think I'll go out to Westchester to do a little snake hunting tomorrow.
God is the state is God.
What's that?
God is the state is God.
Well, who says that?
Trotsky.
Oh, that's all right. I just thought you said it.
It's nice for printing, you know? Good and short. G-O-D space. I-S space.
And so the beautiful princess came into the palace and kissed her mother, and her father, and her grandfather.
Hello, darling.
Hello, Grandpa. And what do you think? They turned into the Sycamore family. Surprised? Oh, Alice, I like it. Do you? It's new, isn't it?
It's nice and summery.
Where'd you get it? Oh, I took a walk during lunch hour.
Well, you've been taking a lot of walks lately. That's the second new dress this week.
I just like to brighten up the office once in a while. I'm known as the K. Francis of Kirby and Company. Anyhow, what's new around here in the way of plays, snakes, and ballet dancing, or fireworks? Dad, I'll bet you've been down in that cellar all day.
Huh?
I'm going back to the war play, Alice.
Really, Mother? And play Alice that new Beethoven thing you wrote.
You know, you can mail a letter from Nicaragua now for 2 pesetos.
Really?
Yes, this is real. You know, the Nicaraguan economy.
Kenneth, my virginity is a priceless thing to me.
We should take a visit.
Listen, people, listen. I'm not home to dinner. A young gentleman is calling for me. Really? Who is it?
Well, isn't that nice?
Did everything possible to keep him from coming here, but he's calling for me.
How about you both stay for dinner?
No, I want him to take you in easy doses. I've tried to prepare him a little, but don't make it any worse than you can help. Don't read him any plays, Mother, and don't let a snake bite him, Grandpa, because I like him. And I wouldn't dance for Messi, because we're going to the Monte Carlo Ballet tonight.
Can't do anything. Who is he? The President of the United States?
No, he's Vice President of Kirby and Company. Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr., the boss's son?
Well,
The boss's son, just like the movies. That explains the new dresses.
And not being home to dinner for 3 weeks.
Why Sherlock Holmes?
are you two going to get married?
Oh, of course, tonight. Meanwhile, I have to go up and put on my wedding dress. Is he good looking? Yes, in a word. Oh dear, what time is it?
I don't know. Does anyone know what time it is?
Mr. DePina might.
Oh, it was about 5 o'clock a couple of hours ago.
I ought to know better than to ask you people. Mother, will you let me know the minute he comes, please?
Yes, dear.
Yes, I know, but I mean the minute he comes.
Why, yes, of course.
Well, be sure.
Well, isn't that something?
She seems to like him, if you ask me.
I should say so. She's got it bad.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if they got married? We could have the wedding right in this room.
Now wait a minute, Penny. This is the first time he's ever called for the girl.
You only called for me once.
Well, young people are different nowadays.
Oh, I don't know. Look at Ed and me. He came to dinner once and just stayed.
Anyhow, it's all so wonderful, don't you think, Grandpa?
She certainly seems happy about it.
Yes. He must be crazy about her. I wonder if he's the one who's been taking her out every night. Oh, this must be him. Never mind, Reba. I'll get it. And remember what Alice said. And be very nice to him.
All right, let's take a look at him.
Why, hello. Welcome to our little home. How do you do? I'm Alice's mother. Oh, do come right in. Come right in. That's her grandfather, and that's her sister Essie and her husband Ed, and then Mr. Sycamore. There. Oh, let me take your hat and make yourself right at home.
I'm afraid you must be making a mistake.
How's that?
My card.
Mr. Wilbur C. Henderson? Internal Revenue Department.
That's right. And this is...
Right here, boss.
my assistant.
How do you do?
What can we do for you?
Does a Mr. Martin Vanderhoff live here?
Yes, sir, that's me.
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, the government wants to talk to you about a little matter of income tax.
Income tax?
Do you mind if I sit down?
Well, go right ahead.
Take notes.
Yes,
Mother, is that Mr. Kirby?
Oh, no it isn't, dear. It's an internal something or other. Pardon me.
Mr. Sycamore, excuse me.
What is it?
These things are not going off.
Not here, Mr. DePina. Grandpa's busy. Oh, sorry. Pardon me.
Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, we've sent you several letters about this, but have not had any reply.
Oh, that's what those letters were.
I told you they were from the government.
According to our records, Mr. Vanderhoff, you have never paid an income tax.
not 1 cent.
That's right.
Why not?
I don't believe in it.
Well, you own property, don't you?
Yes, sir,
And you receive a yearly income from it
I do.
of between $3,000 and $4,000.
Something like that.
You've been receiving it for years.
Many years.
I have 1901, if you want the exact date.
The government is only concerned from 1914 on. That's when the income tax started.
Well,
Well, it seems, Mr. Vanderhoff, that you owe the government 24 years back income tax.
Wait a minute. You can't go back that far. That's outlawed.
What's your name?
Yeah, what's your name?
What difference does that make?
Ever file an income tax return?
No, sir.
What was your income last year?
$28.50. Wasn't it, Essie?
Yes, sir.
If you please. Now, Mr. Vanderhoff, you must know that there's quite a penalty for not filing an income tax return.
Penalty?
now, look here, Mr. Henderson. Let me ask you something.
Well,
Suppose I pay you this money. Mind you, I don't say I'm going to pay it, but for the sake of argument, what's the government going to give me for it?
how do you mean?
Well, if I go into Macy's and I buy something, there it is. I see it. Now, what does the government give me?
Well, the government gives you everything. It protects you.
What from?
Invasion, foreigners that might come over here and take everything that you've got.
Everything you've got.
I don't think they're going to do that.
If you didn't pay income, they would. How do you think the government keeps up the army and the navy?
All those battleships.
Well, we haven't used battleships since the Spanish-American War. And what did we get out of that? Cuba, and we gave that back. Now, I wouldn't mind paying if it were something sensible.
Sensible? Well, what about Congress and the Supreme Court and the President? We've got to pay for them, don't we?
Not with my money, no sir.
I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to tell you you've got taxes to pay and you've got to pay them.
They've got to show me.
No, we haven't got to show you. I just told you. All those buildings down in Washington and interstate commerce and,
The Constitution.
yes, the Constitution.
The Constitution was paid for very long ago. And interstate commerce, well, what is interstate commerce?
There are 48 states, see? And if there weren't interstate commerce, nothing could get from one state to the next, see?
Why not? They've got fences, have they?
No, they haven't got fences. They've got laws. My goodness, I've never seen anything like this before.
No, sir.
Well, I might pay about $75, but that's all it's worth.
You'll pay every last cent of it like everyone else.
Listen to this a minute, Essie.
And you listen here. You'll go to jail, you hear me? That's the law. And if you think you're greater than the law, you've got another thing coming. You're no greater than anybody else, and the sooner you get that through your head, the better. You'll hear from the United States government. That's all I can say. What? Ah! Oh, goodness. Let's get out of here.
How was that, Essie?
Fine, Ed.
How did that sound to you folks?
I like it.
My, he was mad, wasn't he?
Oh, it's not his fault, it's just... the whole thing is so silly.
Oh, he forgot his hat.
Say, what size is that?
7 1/8.
Just right for me.
Who was that fellow anyways?
Oh, this must be him.
I'll better make sure this time.
I will.
I hope he's good looking.
Hello.
Good evening.
Are you Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.?
Yes.
Oh, then come right in. We've been expecting you. I'm Alice's mother, and that's her father, Mr. Sycamore, and her grandfather, and then her sister, Ashley, with her husband, Ed. There, now you know all of us. Oh, let me take your hat and make yourself right at home.
Thank you.
Is that Mr. Kirby, Mother?
Yes, it is, dear. And he's lovely.
I'll be right down.
Oh, Mr. Kirby, do sit right down.
Thank you. I hope I'm not keeping you from dinner.
Oh, no, have a tomato.
No thanks.
How about a piece of candy?
No thanks.
Oh, so sorry. I forgot to introduce Mr. DePinna. Mr. DePinna, Mr. Kirby.
Wasn't I reading about your father in the newspaper the other day? Didn't he get indicted or something?
Hardly that. He just testified before the Securities Commission.
Oh.
Yes, I'm sure there was nothing crooked about it, Mr. DePinna. Anyhow, Alice has often told us what a lovely man your father is.
Well, we all know we couldn't get along without Alice. She knows more about business than any of us.
You're awful young, Mr. Kirby, aren't you? To be vice president of a big place like that?
Well, you know what that means. Vice President. All I have is a desk with my name on it.
Is that all? Don't you get any salary?
Well, a bit. More than I'm worth, I'm afraid.
Now you're just being modest.
It sounds kind of dull to me. Wall Street, do you like it?
Well, the hours are short, and I haven't been there very long.
Just out of college, huh?
I knocked around for a while at first. Just sort of had fun.
What did you do? Did you travel?
For a while, and then I went to Cambridge for a year.
England.
That's right.
Say, what's an English commencement like? Did you see any?
Oh, they're very impressive.
They are. Huh.
Anyhow, the fun's over and I'm facing the world.
Well, you've certainly got a good start in it. I mean, vice president of a rich company and a rich father.
Well, that's hardly my fault.
So now I suppose you're ready to settle down and get married?
Come now, Penny. I'm sure Mr. Kirby here knows his own mind.
I wasn't making his mind up for him, was I, Mr. Kirby?
Not at all, Mrs. Sycamore.
You see?
You mustn't rush him, Mother.
Well, all I was meaning is that he's bound to get married. And suppose the wrong girl gets him.
Well, here I am, a vision in blue. Apparently, you've all had time to get acquainted.
Yes, we've just had a delightful talk about love and marriage.
Dear, I'm so sorry. I came down as fast as I could.
I didn't mind in the least.
Rotten flies. Oh, Miss Alice, you look beautiful. Where you go?
I'm going out, Reba.
Stepping, huh?
That must be Kalinkoff.
Oh, we better go to me.
All right?
Grandpa! You want cream on your cornflakes? I forget.
Half and half, Donald, please.
Ah! Manicura vista!
Yes, that's good.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Grump, I have just had a letter from Russia. The second 5-year plan is a failure.
Well,
I practiced today, Mr. Kalinkoff.
My Pavlova, yes, you will be so
Well,
good
if
one
you'll
day.
excuse us, Mr. Kalinkoff.
Oh, my little Alice. Never have I seen you look so magnificent.
Thank you, Mr. Kalinkoff. Tony, this is Mr. Kalinkoff, SEC dancing teacher. Mr. Kirby.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Well, if you'll pardon us, Mr. Kalinkoff, we're going to the Monte Carlo Ballet.
The Monte Carlo Ballet. It stinks.
Yes, well, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, I'm so glad to have met you all.
Goodbye. Monte Carlo Ballet.
Isn't Mr. Kirby lovely? Oh, come on, everyone. Dinner's ready.
I thought it was nice, didn't you?
And so good, Rishi.
And he had such nice manners. Did you notice Paul? Did you notice his manners?
I certainly did, Penny. You're getting pretty personal with him.
Oh, now, Paul. Anyhow, he's such a lovely young man.
Yeah, well, he looks like a cousin of mine.
Box. De Glieve. And then you had the ballet.
I think if we have the wedding here, I'll put the altar right where the snakes are. You wouldn't mind, Grandpa, would you?
not if the snakes don't.
No, they'll want to get married in a church. His family and everything.
Oh, yes. In the onion dome.
Quiet, everybody, quiet. Well, sir, we've been getting along pretty good for quite a while now, and we're certainly much obliged. Remember, all we ask is to go along and be happy in our own sort of way. Of course, we all want to keep our health, but as far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave it to you. Thank you. So the second 5-year plan is a failure, right, Kalinkoff?
Alice,
Fantastic.
very
Bravo.
happy.
Everybody, wait, what do we have tonight? The third?
I can see them dance every night of the week. I think they're marvelous.
They're wonderful, aren't they? Of course, just walking inside the theater gives me a thrill.
Well, Tony, it's been so lovely. I hate to have it over.
Oh, is it over? Do I have to go right away?
Not if you don't want to.
I don't.
Would you like a cold drink?
Wonderful.
I'll see what's in the icebox. Want to come along?
I follow you to the ends of the earth.
Just the kitchen is enough.
Well, I like it. You've done it very simply, haven't you?
Yes, we didn't know whether to do it Empire or Neo-Grecian.
So you settled for Frigidaire.
Yes. It's so easy to live with. Lucky you're not hungry, Mr. K. Nice box full of cornflakes. If that gives you a rough idea of the sycamores.
Well, they made these bottle openers for singer midgets. I never did. All over my coat.
I'll take mine in a glass if you don't mind.
There you are. Foaming beaker.
Anyhow, it's cold.
Now, if you please be seated, Miss Sycamore, I'd like to offer a toast.
We are seated.
Miss Sycamore, to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby. To you.
You know something?
What?
I wouldn't trade 1 minute this evening for all the rice in China.
Really?
Cross my heart.
Is there much rice in China?
Sure. Didn't you read The Good Earth? Well, suppose I ought to go.
Is it very late?
Very. I don't want to go.
I don't want you to.
All right, I won't. When do you take your vacation?
Last 2 weeks in August.
I might take mine then too.
Really?
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I hadn't thought much about it.
Going away, do you think?
I might not. I like the city in the summertime.
I do too.
But you always go up to Maine, don't you?
Oh, but I'm sure I'd love to see the city in the summertime. Oh, you know what I mean, Alice. I'd love to see if you were here.
Well, it'd be nice if you were here, Tony.
You know what you're saying, don't you?
What?
That you'd rather spend the summer with me than anybody else?
Was I?
Well, if that's true about the summer, how do you feel about the winter?
Yes, I like that too.
Then there's spring and autumn, if you can see way clear about those, Miss Sycamore.
I might.
Well, I guess that's the whole year. We haven't forgotten anything, have we?
No.
Well
Is that you, Alice? What time is it anyway? Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt anything.
Not at all, Mrs. Sycamore.
No, Mother.
Anyhow, I just came down to fetch my manuscript, and then you two can get back to whatever it is you were doing. Oh, here it is. Romance takes a holiday. Good night, Tony.
Good night, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, I think you can call me Penny, don't you, Alice? Anyhow, I hope so.
What was that?
It's all right, Tony. That's just Father.
This time of night?
Any time of night. Any time of day.
Darling, you're more beautiful, more lovely, more adorable than anyone else in the world.
Don't, Tony.
What? Just because you're mother? All mothers are like that, Alice, and Penny's a darling. See, I'm even calling her Penny.
I don't mean that. Look, Tony, this is something I should have said a long time ago, but I didn't have the courage. I let myself be swept away because I loved you so.
Darling.
No, wait, Tony. I want to make it clear to you. You're of a different world, a whole different kind of people. Oh, I don't mean money or socially. That's too silly. But your family and mine, it just wouldn't work, Tony. It just wouldn't work.
All right, have it your way. She can't dance. That's why they pay her all that money? Because she can't dance?
Well, I don't call that dancing what she does. Oh, hello. How was the ballet?
It was fine, Essie.
Wonderful.
Hello there.
Well,
Look, what do you people think? Ed and I just saw Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Do you think she can dance, Mr. Kirby?
why, yes, I always thought so.
Why, what does she do, anyhow? Now look, Mr. Kirby, you're Fred Astaire and I'm Ginger Rogers.
Essie, please.
I only want to use him for a minute.
Essie, you're just as good as Ginger Rogers, and we all agree.
You see, Ed...
Yeah. Come on, Essie, we're butting in here.
Oh, but they've been together all evening. Good night, Alice. Good night, Mr. Kirby.
Good night, Mrs. Carmichael.
Good night. Essie, have you asked Grandpa about us having a baby?
Oh, yes. He said to
See, Tony? That's what it would be like.
Oh, I didn't mind all that. Anyhow, we wouldn't be living with your family, just be you and I.
No, it isn't. It's never quite like that. I love them, Tony. I love them deeply. I know they do rather strange things, but they're fun and they're happy and I don't know, there's a kind of nobility about them.
You talk as though only you can understand them. Well, that's not true. Every family's got its curious little traits. My father raises orchids at $10,000 a bulb. My mother believes in spiritualism. That's just as strange as your mother writing plays, isn't it?
Goes deeper, Tony. Your mother believes in spiritualism because it's fashionable, and, well, your father raises orchids because he can afford to. My mother writes plays because 8 years ago, a typewriter was delivered here by mistake.
Darling, what of it?
And look at Grandpa. 35 years ago, he just set up to the office one day and came right back down again. He just stopped. He could have been a rich man, but he said it took too much time. So for 35 years, he's done nothing but collect snakes and go to circuses and commencements. It never occurs to any of them.
Hello there, children.
Good evening, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Hello, Grandpa.
How's the weather? Looks like a nice summer evening.
Yes, it's lovely, Grandpa.
Well, I'm off. I've got a standing date with the policeman on the corner.
Policeman.
Yes, we've got a meeting, 12:30 every night. You know, I've known him since he was a little boy. You know, he's really a doctor. But after he graduated, he came to me and said he didn't want to be a doctor. He'd always wanted to be a policeman. So I said to him, you go ahead and be a policeman. And that's what he did. How do you like my hat?
It's very nice, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Yeah, I like it. The government gave it to me.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't know you folks was in here.
It's all right, Donald.
Reva kind of fancied some candy and, oh, there it is. Y'all don't want any, do you?
No, Donald.
Thanks. Do you have a nice evening?
Yes, Donald.
Nice dinner.
Yes, Donald.
Was the ballet nice?
Yes, Donald.
That's nice.
Now do you see what I mean? Could you explain Donald to your father? Could you explain Grandpa? You couldn't, Tony, you couldn't. I love you, Tony, but I love them too. It's no use.
There's only one thing you've said that matters. It makes any sense at all. You love me.
But Tony, I know so well.
Don't you think other people have the same problem? Everyone's got a family.
Not like mine.
It doesn't stop people who love each other. Darling, why don't we just trust me and go on loving me and forget everything else?
Tony, how can I?
Because nothing can keep us apart. You know that. You must know it. They want you to be happy, don't they? They must.
Of course they do, but they can't change, Tony. I wouldn't want them to change.
They don't have to change. They're charming, lovable people, just as they are. You're worrying about something that might never come up.
Oh, Tony, am I?
All that matters is we love each other. That's so, isn't it?
Yes.
Well,
Oh, Tony.
now I'd like to see some happiness around here. Young men calling and getting engaged and everything.
What do I say?
Well, first, you thank the young man for getting engaged to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby, for getting engaged to me.
And then you tell him what it was about him that first took your girlish heart.
The back of your head.
Huh?
It wasn't your charm and it wasn't your money. It was the back of your head. I just liked it.
What happened when I turned around?
Well, I got used to it after a while.
Well, Alice, think of it. We're pretty lucky, aren't we?
I know that I am. I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
Well, I'm not exactly unlucky myself. Oh dear. I guess I'll have to. Goodbye, darling. Till tomorrow.
Good night.
Isn't it wonderful we work in the same office? Otherwise, I'd be hanging around here all day.
Want to be funny in the office tomorrow, going on as if nothing had happened?
Thankfully, I'm vice president. I can dictate to you all day. Dear Miss Sycamore, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Oh, darling, you're such a fool.
Why don't you meet me at the drugstore tomorrow morning before you go to the office? I have a million things to say to you.
All right.
And then lunch, and then dinner tomorrow night.
Oh, Tony, what will people say?
It's got to come out sometime. In fact, if you know a good housetop, I'd like to do a little shouting.
Yes, sir, Mr. DePina, we did a good night's work.
That's what. 500 Black Panthers, 300 willow trees, and 8 dozen kitty bombers.
Pretty good. Hello, Alice. Did you just come in?
No, I've been home quite a while, Father.
Did you have a nice evening?
I had a beautiful evening, Father.
Say, I'd like you to check out this new red fire we just made. Mr. DePina, will you turn off the lights? I want Alice to get the full effect.
What, Father?
Look at this new red fire we just made. It's beautiful.
Wait for it. Any minute now.
There, what do you think? Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, Father, everything's beautiful. It's the most beautiful red fire in the world.
To read you the new play, Miss Wellington, anytime you are.
Just a minute, Fury. Just a minute.
The only thing is, I hope you won't mind my mentioning this, but you don't drink when you're acting, do you, Miss Wellington? I'm only asking, of course. I'm glad you brought it up. Once a play opens, I never touch a drop. The minute I enter the stage door, the bottle gets put away. Until intermission.
Have you been on the stage a long time, Miss Wellington?
Oh, all my life. I've played everything. Ever see Beg on My Heart?
Yes.
I saw it too. Show. My, that night ain't it?
You want me to open the window, Miss Wellington?
No, whatever the weather. Say, he's cute.
She's just dancing, Reba. That's all. She don't mean anything.
How about we go up to my room and start? I thought we'd read the play up in my room. All right, dearie, I'm ready. When I see snakes, it's time for me to lie down. Oh, but Miss Wellington, those are real snakes. They're Grandpa's and they're real, and oh dear, I hope she's not going to. Miss Wellington! Miss Wellington!
She's out like a light.
Yeah, better let her sleep it off, Penny.
Reba! Miss Wellington just passed out.
Good! Do you think she'll be all right?
Yes, but I wouldn't cast her in the religious play.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Penny, next time you meet an actress on top of a bus, I think I'd send her the play instead of inviting her home to read it.
Ed, I wish you'd stop printing and take those love dreams around. You've got to get back in time to play for me when Kalenkov comes.
Kalenkov coming tonight?
Yes, tomorrow night's his night, but I had to change it on account of Alice.
Oh, big doings round here tomorrow, huh?
Oh, yes, isn't it exciting? You know, I'm so nervous you'd think it was me who was getting engaged to instead of Alice.
What do you think they'll be like? His mother and father? Ed, what are you doing now?
Penny, did you see the new mask I made last night? Guess who it is?
Don't tell me now, Ed. Is it Helen of Troy?
It's Mrs. Roosevelt.
You know the nice thing about these Mikado sets? You can make so many different things with them. Last week it was the Empire State Building.
Well, what is it this week?
Queen Mary.
Hasn't got the right hat on.
Look, Mr. DePina, would you open the door and see if there's a man standing in front of the house?
Oh, why? What for?
Well, the past few days, when I've been out delivering candy, I think a man's been following me.
Ed, you're crazy.
No, I'm not. He follows me and stands and watches the house.
Really? Well, I'll take a look and see.
Well, I don't see what anybody would follow you for, Ed.
Well, there's a lot of kidnapping going on, Grandpa.
Yes, but not of Ed.
Well, did you see him?
There's nobody out there at all.
You're sure?
Positive. Just saw him walk away.
You see?
Oh, it might have been anyone walking along the street. Now, will you hurry up and get back?
Oh, all right.
Oh, want to go down now, Mr. Sigmore, and finish packing up the fireworks?
Yeah, we've got to take the fireworks up to Mount Vernon in the morning.
Mother, may I borrow some paper? I'm making out a list for Reba for tomorrow night.
Yes, dear. Here. So count simple as an orange.
Why, what happened to your actress friend? Is she giving a performance?
Oh, no. She's not acting, Alice. She's really drunk.
Essie, dear, you're going to give Reba the whole kitchen tomorrow, right? Because she'll need it.
Of course, Alice. I'm going to start some love dreams now, so I'll be way ahead.
Thanks, dear. Look, Mother, I'll be home at 3 o'clock tomorrow. You'll have everything down in the cellar by that time. The typewriter, the snakes, the xylophone, the printing press.
And Miss Wellington.
And Miss Wellington. That'll give me time to arrange the table and fix the flowers.
Well, the Kirbys are certainly going to get the wrong impression of this house.
You'll do all that, won't you, Mother?
Yes, dear.
I think we better have the cocktails ready at 7:15 in case they happen to come a little early. Oh, I wonder if I ought to let Reba cook the dinner. What do you think, Grandpa?
Now, Alice, I wouldn't worry about it. From what I've seen of the boy, the Kirbys are going to be very nice people. And if everything's not so elaborate tomorrow night, that's all right too.
Oh, my darling, I'm not trying to impress anybody or pretend that we're anything we're not. I just want everything to go off well.
No reason why it shouldn't, Alice.
Yes, we will all do everything we can to make sure it's a nice party tomorrow.
Oh, my darlings, I love you. You're the most wonderful family in the world, and I'm the happiest girl in the world. I didn't know anybody could be so happy. Why, these past few days have been like floating. Oh, he's so wonderful, Grandpa. Why, just seeing him, you don't know what it does to me.
Just seeing him for lunch and dinner and until 4 o'clock in the morning. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, you're back at the office again. Just seeing him, huh?
I don't care. I'm in love. Reba! Reba!
Nice, isn't it, to see her so happy?
Yes. I remember when I was engaged to Paul, how happy I was. And you know, I still feel that way.
I know. Nice the way Ed and Essie get along too, isn't it?
And Donald and Reba, even though they're not married. Grandpa, do you suppose Mr. DePina will ever get married?
Well, there's Miss Wellington.
Oh dear. I do wish she'd wake up if we're going to read the play tonight.
Mrs. Sycamore, look what I found.
Oh, it's my painting of you as the discus thrower. Look, Grandpa.
Oh, I remember it. Say, Mr. DePina, you've gotten a little bald, haven't you?
Is it very noticeable? Still got some hair.
Well, it was a long time ago. Just before I stopped painting, let me see. That was 8 years ago.
Too bad you never finished it, Mrs. Sycamore.
Yes, I always meant to finish it. But I started writing plays one day and that was that. I never painted again.
Just as well, too. I was going to have to pose next.
Who would have thought that day I came to deliver ice that I was going to stay here for 8 years?
The milkman was here for 5, just ahead of you.
Say, why did he leave anyhow? I forget.
Oh, he didn't leave. He died.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he was such a lovely man. Do you remember the funeral, Grandpa? You never quite knew his name, and it made it kind of difficult to get a certificate.
What was the name we made up for him eventually?
Martin Vanderhoff. We gave him your name.
That's right.
Yes, it was a lovely thought, though. He never would have gotten all those flowers.
Hasn't hurt me any either. I'm not bothered with mail anymore, and I haven't had a telephone call from that day to this.
Yes. It was truly a wonderful idea, Grandpa.
Too bad you never finished it, Mrs. Sycamore. I kind of like to have it.
You know what, Mr. Pinna? I think I will do some work on it right tonight.
Say, will you?
Yes. I don't think she's going to wake up anyhow. Look, how about you go downstairs and put on your costume and bring up the easel. Is it still down there?
I think so.
Yes. Oh, and where did I put my palette and brushes?
Raviska! Manito Raviska!
Yes, Mr. Kolikoff.
Oh, hello, Mr. Blinko. Essie's in the kitchen.
Madame Sycamore, I greet you. Ram, tell me, what should I do about Raviska? I keep telling her she'd be a great toe dancer, but she laughs only.
No, sir. I couldn't get up on my toes, Mr. Kolenkoff. I have got corns.
Rabishka, you could wear diamonds. A great girl grandpa. What is that?
It's a picture of Mr. DePinna. Penny painted it.
Oh, it stinks.
Yes, it does. How do you like that?
Get thee to a nunnery.
Oh, she's drunk, no.
She's drunk, yes. How are you, Klinkov?
Magnificent. Life is chasing around inside of me like a squirrel.
Please. Now, what's new in Russia? Any more letters from your friend in Moscow?
Oh, yes, I just heard from him. Except for you, the stamp.
Well, thank you, Klinkov.
They have sent him to Siberia.
They have. How's he like it?
He has escaped. He has escaped and gone back to Moscow. He will get them if they do not get him first. Oh, the Soviet government. I could take the whole Soviet government and...
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Kolenkoff. I'll get into my dancing clothes right away.
Tonight, you will really work, Pavlova. Tonight, you will do something new.
Has he making any progress, Klinkov?
Confidentially, she stinks.
As long as she's having fun.
You sure do take a reba, Mr. Kolenkov. She... she is laughing her head off.
Oh, yes, yes. She is a great woman. Donald, tell me, what do you think of the Soviet government?
The what, Mr. Kolenkov?
I withdraw the question. What do you think of this government?
Oh, I like it fine. I'm a relief, you know.
Oh, yes. And you like it?
Yes, it's fine. Only thing is, you got to go around to the place every week to get it. And sometimes you got to stand in line pretty near half an hour. Government ought to be run better than that, don't you think, Grandpa?
Government ought to stop sending me letters. They want me to come down to the marshal's office Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. Look at that.
Income tax! They have got you, Grandpa!
Yeah, I'm supposed to give them a whole lot of money so as to keep Donald here on relief.
You don't say, Grandpa. You are going to pay it from now on?
That's what they want.
You mean I can come right here and get it instead of standing in that long line?
No, Donald, I'm afraid you'll have to waste a full half hour of your time every week.
Well, I don't like it. It breaks up my week.
He should have been in Russia when the revolution came. He would have stood in a line, a bread line. I tell you, Grandpa, what they have done to Russia. Think of it. My friend, the Grand Duchess, Olga Katrina, cousin of the Tsar. Today, she worked in Child's restaurant, Times Square. I ordered baked beans from her only yesterday. It broke my heart. It is a crazy world, Grandpa.
Oh, the world's not so crazy, Klinkov. It's the people in it. Life's pretty simple if you just relax. The trouble is, people forget that. I know I did. I was right in the thick of it. Fighting, scratching, clawing, regular jungle. Then one day it just kind of occurred to me. I wasn't having any fun.
So you did what?
Just relaxed. 35 years ago, that is. I've been a happy man ever since.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Klinkov.
Ah, Miss... Oh, I have not seen you to present my congratulations.
Thank you.
May you be very happy and have many, many children. This is my prayer for you.
That's quite a thought.
Ah, love. Love is all that is left in the world, Grandpa.
Yes, but there's plenty of that.
And soon, Stalin will take that from you too, Grandpa. I told you. He will take it.
It feels so nice to be back in my paint clothes again. What do you think, Grandpa?
They still look all right.
You are a breath of Paris, Madame Sycamore.
Why, thank you, Mr. Klinkov.
Oh, I didn't know you was working for the WBA.
Oh, no, Donald. You see, I used to paint all the time.
It happened again. There was a fellow following me every place I went.
Nonsense. Ed, it's just your imagination.
No, it isn't. He follows me every time I go out and deliver candy.
Maybe he wants a piece of candy.
It's alright for you to laugh, Grandpa, but he keeps following me.
You do not know what following is. In Russia, everybody is followed. I was followed right out of Russia.
You see, Ed, it's all just your imagination.
Well, maybe.
Ah, here we are.
And for tonight's lesson, we use the first movement of Scheherazade.
Okay.
Mr. Pinna, has something happened to your figure these last 8 years?
No, I don't think there's any different.
Thank you. Yes? Miss Wellington, yes? Thank you. Oh, dear. Sorry, Mr. Klinkov. I couldn't find myself.
We have a hot nut for it, my Pavlova, but art is only achieved through perspiration.
Why, that's wonderful, Mr. Klinkov. Did you hear that, Grandpa? Art is only achieved through perspiration.
Yes, but it helps if you got a little talent to go with it. I only made 2 bullseyes last night. I've got to do better than that.
All right. You are ready? We begin. All right. Pirouette, pirouette. Yes, yes. You can do that. It is 8 years now. At last, No, Grandpa, you cannot relax. We study in Russia. The Tsar relaxed. And look what happened to him.
He was too late.
Mr. Klinkov?
He had not relaxed. The Grand Duchess Olga Katerina would not be selling her baked bean today.
Mr. Klinkov?
I am sorry. We go back to the pirouette.
Mr. Pinna, can you pull in your stomach just a little bit? There we go. Perfect.
Freer with the hands. The whole body must work. Ed, help us with the music. The music must be free. You, Ed, must be free like a bird. Free. Free.
Mrs. Sycamore? Mrs. Sycamore?
Mrs. Sycamore!
What? Rita?
Good evening.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Are we too early?
No, it's perfectly all right. Come on, we're glad to see you.
Yes, only we thought it was to be tomorrow night. Tomorrow night?
What?
Now, it's perfectly all right. Why, we weren't doing a thing.
No, just a nice, quiet evening at home.
That's all. Now, don't let it bother you. This is is Alice's mother, Mrs. Sycamore.
How do you do?
Alice's sister, Mrs. Carmichael, Mr. Carmichael, Mr. DePina, and Mr. Kalinko.
How do you do? This is my wife Miriam and my daughter Helen.
How do you do?
Don't mind my costume, I'll take it right off.
Would you tell Mr. Sycamore to come right up? Tell him the Kirby's are here.
Oh, and be sure to tell him to put his pants on.
Come on.
Thank you. Yes, Paul, let's tell Alice that you're, Alice, dear!
What is it?
Could you please come down, dear? We have a surprise for you. Well,
Mrs. Kirby, Helen, may I take your wraps?
why, thank you. If you're perfectly sure there were no...
Don't be alarmed, they're perfectly harmless. I'll take you to the kitchen.
Yes, I'm so sorry. We're just so used to having them around the house that we already forgot. Sorry to trouble you, but snakes happen
I
to
feel
be...
very uncomfortable about all of this. Tony, how could you have done such a thing?
I don't know, Dad. I thought it was nice.
Really, Tony?
It was very careless of you. Very.
Now, Mr. Kirby, anyone can get a little mixed up, that's all.
Honey, how about some dinner for these folks? They have come for dinner, you know.
Oh, please don't bother. We're really not hungry at all. Oh, but it's not a bit of bother. Ed, can you go tell Donald to go down to the AMP to fetch half a dozen bottles of soda and some canned salmon. And do you like canned salmon, Mr. Kirby?
Please, don't trouble Mrs. Sycamore. I have a little indigestion anyways.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And you, Mrs. Kirby, do you like canned salmon? Oh, I'm very fond of it. Yes, sounds delicious. You can have frankfurters if you'd rather. Either one will do. Make that some frankfurters and some canned corn and some Campbell soup. You got that, right, Ed?
Okay.
And tell him to hurry! Yes, the AMP's just at the corner, and the frankfurters don't take any time to boil.
This is Alice's father.
I hope you'll forgive my appearance.
Yes, it's Mr. Sycamore's busiest time of the year, right at the 4th of July. He's so busy.
Oh!
Darling, I'm the most dull-witted fool in the world. I thought it was tonight.
Why, Tony, can't imagine why I wasn't. Have you all met each other?
Yes, indeed.
How do you do, Alice? You remember Tony's sister, Helen.
How do you do, Mrs. Kirby? Helen? I'm afraid I'm not very presentable.
Darling, you look lovely.
Don't let this upset you, Alice. We've just met each other a night sooner, that's all.
Of course.
But I was planning such a nice party for tomorrow evening.
Well then, we'll come again tomorrow.
There you are, Alice. Am I forgiven?
I guess so. It's just that we better see about getting you folks some dinner.
Oh, that's all right, Alice. That's all been... That's been attended to.
Yes, but Mother, what did you send for? Because Mr. Kirby suffers from indigestion. He can only eat certain things.
Oh no, it's all right. It's all right.
Of course it is, darling.
I asked him what he wanted, Alice.
Yes, but...
Now, it's not as serious as all of that. Just because I have a little indigestion.
Perhaps it is not indigestion at all. Perhaps you have stomach ulcer.
Don't be absurd, Mr. Kalinkoff.
Now, you mustn't mind Mr. Kalinkov. He's a Russian, and Russians are inclined to look on the dark side of things.
Yes,
I may be a Russian, but a friend of mine, also a Russian,
Die of stomach ulcer. He's dead. Really? I assure you.
Please, Mr. Klinkoff, Mr. Kirby has indigestion, and that's all.
Fine. Let him wait.
Do sit down, Mr. Kirby. Make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
Well,
Tell me, how do you find business conditions? Are we pretty well out of the depression?
What? Yes, I think so. Of course, it all depends.
But you figure things are going to keep on improving.
Broadly speaking, yes. As a matter of fact, industry is operating at 86% full capacity, as compared to 64% in 1925.
in olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked on as something shocking. Now goodness knows anything goes. She's a friend tonight. I'm so sorry. Everybody in olden days,
Now,
a glimpse of stocking was.
That may seem a little bit odd to you people, but she's not quite accountable for her actions. A friend of Penny's, she came to dinner and was overcome by the heat.
Yes, some people feel it more than most. Would you please excuse me for just a moment?
It is awfully hot. You usually escape all this hot weather up in Maine, don't you, Mrs. Kirby?
As a rule. I had to come down this week, however, for the flower show.
Mother loves her flowers.
Mother wouldn't miss that for the world. That blue ribbon is the high spot of her year.
Oh, I won a ribbon at a flower show once for raising onions. Remember, Alice?
That was a garden show, Essie.
Oh.
She'll be all right. It's just Has Donald come back yet?
No, he hasn't.
Well, I'm sure he'll be back in no time, and then dinner will be soon after. I'm afraid you must be starved.
Oh no, quite all right. Hello, what's this? I didn't know there were little children in the house.
Oh no, that's mine.
I see. Well, I suppose every man has his hobby. Or do you use it as a model of some kind?
No, I play with it.
I see.
Maybe you'd be better off if you had a hobby like that, Dad, instead of raising orchids.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, do tell us all about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. You know, some take 6 years to blossom. Think of that.
Oh, some of them take even longer. I've got one coming along now that I've been waiting 10 years for.
Believe it or not, I waited for it only once.
Yes. Of course, during that time, they require the most scrupulous care. I remember a bulb I was very
Donald!
fond of.
Here we are. Donald, did you get everything we asked for?
Yes, only they didn't have any frankfurters. So, I got pickled pig's feet.
Never mind, Donald, just bring it all into the kitchen. Mr. Kirby, do tell them all about your orchids. I know they'd love to hear it. And excuse me.
Kind of an expensive hobby, isn't it, Mr. Kirby? Raising orchids?
Yes, but I feel that if a hobby gives one sufficient pleasure, then it's never expensive.
That's very true.
You see, I need something to relieve the daily nerve strain. After a week in Wall Street, I'd go crazy if I didn't have something like that. A lot of men I know have yachts, just for that same reason.
Well, why don't you just give up Wall Street?
How's that?
Oh, I was only joking.
I think it's necessary for everyone to have a hobby. Of course, it's more to me than a hobby, but my great solace is spiritualism.
Spiritualism? Now, Mrs. Kirby, we all know that's a fake.
To me, Mrs. Sycamore, spiritualism is, well, I would rather not discuss it, Mrs. Sycamore.
Remember, Penny, You have one or two hobbies of your own?
Yes, Paul, but not silly ones.
I don't think it matters what the hobby is. The important thing is to have one.
To be ideal. A hobby to improve the mind as well as the body. The Romans were a great people. But what was their hobby? Wrestling. In wrestling, you have to think quick with the mind and act quick with the body.
Yes, but I'm afraid wrestling isn't very practical for most of us. I know I wouldn't make a very good showing as a wrestler.
Oh, no. You could be a great wrestler. You are built for it. Look. Ah! 1, 2, 3. Ah!
Mr. Kirby, are you hurt?
Father, are you all right?
Where are my glasses?
Oh, here they are, Mr. Kirby. I'm afraid they're broken.
Oh, I am very sorry, Mr. Kirby. But the next time we do the wrestling, we do not wear glasses.
I do not intend to wrestle again, Mr. Kalenkoff.
Better sit down, Father.
How could you do such a thing, Mr. Klinkoff? Why didn't anybody stop him?
I think if you don't mind, perhaps we better be going.
Oh, Mrs. Kirby, Mr. Kirby, please don't go. Please. I've ordered some scrambled eggs and some plain salad. Oh, please don't go.
I am very sorry. I did anything wrong. And I apologize.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Kirby. If I'd been...
That's quite all right.
It's all right. It's all right. We're not going.
Well, that was exciting for a minute, wasn't it?
You were telling us about your orchids, Mr. Kirby. Do you raise native varieties?
I'm afraid I've quite forgotten about my orchids.
I'm awfully sorry, Mr. Kirby.
What did I do that was so terrible? I threw him to the ground. Yes, I did. Did it kill him? No, it did not. He is still alive.
Please.
I'm sure how dinner will be any time now.
Would you like some candy while you're waiting, Mr. Kirby? I've got some freshly made.
My doctor does not permit me to eat candy, but thank you.
But these are nothing, Mr. Kirby. Just coconut and marshmallow and fudge. Don't, Essie. Well...
Miss Alice. Miss Alice.
What is it, Reba?
The eggs done fell down my sink.
Make some more, quick.
I don't got any.
Send Donald out for some.
All right.
Tell him to hurry. There's been a little delay, but everything will be ready in just a minute. Whoosh!
I'm sorry with all the trouble I put you people through with my stupidity.
Not at all, Tony. It's quite all right.
Look, why don't we play a game of some sort while we're waiting?
Oh, that'd be fine.
Mother, I don't think the Kirbys would want to play any of you.
Oh! I know a game. I know a wonderful trick with a glass of water.
I'm sure the Kirbys would love this game. It's perfectly harmless.
Please, Mother.
I'm not very good at games, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, but any fool can play this game, Mr. Kirby. All you do is write your name on a piece of paper.
Mother, I don't think Mr. Kirby wants to play your game.
Oh, he'll love it. Anyhow, all you do, Mr. Kirby, is just take this paper right here and write your name on it. And you, Mrs. Kirby, do the same on yours.
Mother, what is this game?
Oh, it's called Forget-Me-Not. I used to play it all the time in school. Oh, Grandpa, here you go. Yes. So I will call out 5 words, just ending it all. And as I say each word, you are to put down the first thing that comes into your mind. You see? For instance, if I say grass, you might put down green. Just anything at all, you see? Or if I say chair, you might put down table. It shows the reactions people have to different things. You see how simple it is, Mr. Kirby?
Come on, Father. Be a sport. Very well. I shall be happy to play it.
You see, Alice? He does want to play. Well, now then, is everyone ready?
Ready?
Must remember to play fair. You must put down the first word that comes into your mind.
I understand.
All right. The first word is potatoes. Potatoes. All ready for the next one? All right. Bathroom.
Mother?
Bathroom. Got that?
Go ahead.
All ready? Oh, lust.
Mother, this is not exactly what you
Nonsense, Alice. The word's all right.
No, Mother, it's not all right. Oh, I don't know. It seems to me that's a perfectly fair word.
You see? Now you mustn't interrupt the game.
May I have that last word again, please, Mrs.
Lust. Mr. Kirby?
I've got it.
Well, this is quite a game, isn't it?
All ready for the next word? Honeymoon. Now, Essie. All ready? The final word is marriage.
Mother?
Everyone got marriage? Perfect. Now please hand in your papers. Mr. Kirby, may I please have your paper?
What happens now?
Oh, this is the best part. Now I read out everyone's responses.
I see. It's really quite an interesting game.
I knew you would like it, Mr. Kirby. Oh, I'm gonna read your paper first. Everyone, I'm going to read Mr. Kirby's paper first. This is Mr. Kirby. Potatoes. Steak. That is very good, Mr. Kirby. You see how they go together? Steak and potatoes.
I just happened to think of it.
Very good. Bathroom, toothpaste. Well, lust, unlawful. Isn't that nice? Honeymoon, trip, yes. And marriage, ceremony. Yes, of course it is. Really, Mr. Kirby, that is a wonderful paper.
Thank you. It's really more than a game, you know. It's a sort of experiment in psychology, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It shows just how the mind works. Oh, and now we'll see how Mrs. Kirby's mind works. Everyone, this is Mrs. Kirby. Potatoes, starch. I know just what you mean, Mrs. Kirby. Oh, dear. Bathroom. Mr. Kirby.
What's that?
Bathroom, Mr. Kirby.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow that, dear.
I don't know. I just thought of you in connection with it. After all, you are in there a good deal, Anthony. Bathing and shaving, well, you do take a long time.
Indeed. I hadn't realized I was being selfish in the matter.
No, it's a rather silly game and we ought to stop it.
Yes.
No, please, go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
I guess, where was I? Oh, yes. Lust. Human.
Human. Really, Miriam?
I just meant, Anthony, that lust is, after all, a human emotion.
I don't agree with you, Miriam. Lust is not a human emotion. It is depraved.
Very well, Anthony, I'm wrong.
Really, it's a pointless game. Suppose we play 20 questions instead.
Yes.
No, I find this game rather interesting. Will you go on, Mrs. Sycamore? What was the next word?
Honeymoon.
Ah, yes. And what was Mrs. Kirby's answer?
Honeymoon. Dull.
Did you say dull?
What I meant, Anthony, was that Hot Springs wasn't very enjoyable that season. All those old people sitting on the porch all afternoon and nothing to do at night.
That was not your reaction at the time, as I recall it.
Father, this is only a game.
A very illuminating game. Please go on, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, well, this one's all right. Oh. Marriage. Wall Street.
Wall Street. Now, what do you mean by that, Miriam?
I don't know what I meant. It was just the first thing that came into my head.
But you must have meant something, Miriam, or you wouldn't have put it down.
I don't know. It was just the first thing that came into my head, that's all.
But what does it mean? Marriage. Wall Street.
Oh, I don't know what it means. It's just that you're always talking about Wall Street, even when... I don't know what I meant. Would you mind terribly, Alice, if we didn't stay for dinner? I'm afraid this game has given me a headache.
I understand, Mrs. Kirby.
Yes. Perhaps we'd better postpone the dinner if that's all right.
But you are coming tomorrow night, aren't you?
I'm afraid we have an engagement tomorrow night.
It may be best to just postpone this whole affair for a little while.
I think we're being very gracious, Father. Of course we'll stay for dinner tonight.
I have a very bad headache, Tony.
Come, Tony. I'm sure everyone understands.
Well, I don't. I think we'll have to stay.
No, Tony.
What?
We were fools, Tony, to ever think this would work. It won't. I won't be at the office tomorrow, Mr. Kirby. I won't be there at all anymore.
I'm sorry, Alice. Very sorry.
Alice, won't you listen to me, please?
Are you ready, Miriam? Helen?
Yes, Anthony, please, Father.
It's been lovely to have met you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you coming, Tony?
No, Father, I'm not.
I see. We will be waiting for you at home. Good night.
Good night.
Stay right where you are. Everybody, don't move.
Oh my heavens!
How dare you? What does this mean?
What is all this?
I demand an explanation.
Keep your mouth shut, you. Which one is it?
This is him.
What are you doing? Why, what do you mean?
Grandpa, what is it?
This is an outrage.
That's enough, sir.
What is your name?
Edward Carmichael. I haven't done anything.
You haven't, huh?
This seems rather high-handed to me. What's it all about?
Department of Justice.
Oh my goodness! The J-Man! Hey! What have you done?
I haven't done anything.
What's the boy done, officer?
What is it? What's it all about?
That door. That lead to the cellar?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Matt, Phil. Jim, Stan, take a look upstairs, see what you find.
Yes, sir.
I haven't done
Hey,
anything.
you ever seen these before?
They're my circulars.
You print this stuff, huh?
Yes, sir.
You put them in a box of candy to get them into people's homes.
The love dream.
But I didn't need
Oh,
it.
you didn't, huh? Dynamite the Capitol, dynamite the White House, dynamite the Supreme Court. God is the state is God.
Oh, my.
I didn't mean any of that. I just like to print, don't I, Grandpa?
Now look here, officer. The government is in no danger from printing is just his hobby. That's all. He'll print anything.
He does, huh?
Yes, of course. I've never heard anything so ridiculous
I
before.
refuse to stand here and be examined like this.
Hey, let me get my pipe, will you? Let me get my pipe!
right, Chief. They've got enough gunpowder down there to blow up the whole city.
What? Keep still. Everyone in this house is under arrest.
Oh.
Shut up! All you people! Shut up!
That's enough, man. Quit that.
That is my mother. Well, well, well.
For appearance on the West Side Court this morning. After spending the night in jail, the defendants, 14 in all, were brought before Judge Callahan and were given suspended sentences for manufacturing fireworks without a permit.
Yeah, they kept me in the same cell with a dancer from a burlesque show.
I was in the cell with Mr. Kirby. My, he was mad.
Miss Kirby and a dancer, they were fighting all night.
Oh, what about Mr. Kirby here? Anthony W. Kirby, head of Kirby and Company, 62 Wall Street, who was among those apprehended, declared he was in no way interested in the manufacture of fireworks, but refused to state why he was on the premises at the time of the raid. Mr. Kirby is a member of the Union Club, the Racket Club, the Harvard Club, and the National Geographic Society. My, he certainly is a joiner.
All them rich men or elks or something.
I suppose, after all this, Mr. Toonie ain't ever going to marry Miss Alice, huh?
No, sir. But it's too bad, too. Miss Alice sure loves that boy.
Ever notice how this family always gets themselves into trouble?
Yes, sir, I'm glad I'm not one of them.
Me too.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with all that food in the kitchen. Ain't gonna be no party tonight, that's for sure.
Ain't we gonna eat it anyhow?
Well, I'm cooking it, but I don't think anyone's gonna have an appetite.
I'm hungry.
Well, they ain't. They also broke up about Miss Alice.
What's she want to go away for? Where is she going?
I don't know. The mountains someplace. But she's going all right. I know Miss Alice when she gets that look in her eye.
Too bad, ain't it?
Sure is.
Not even a balloon left. Look.
How's the hands, Mr. DePena? Better?
Yes, it's better. Is there more olive oil in there?
Yes, it's in the salad bowl.
Thanks.
Well, she's going. There's nothing anyone said that could change her.
She ain't gonna be waiting long, is she, Miss Sycamore?
I don't know, Rita. She won't say.
My, it is gonna be lonesome around here without her.
How you doing, Miss Sycamore?
I'm all right, Donald. Just a little upset, that's all. Perhaps if I do some work, maybe I'll feel better.
I won't bother you then, Miss Sycamore.
Well, she's going, Penny.
Yes, I know.
No, Penny.
I can't help it, Paul. I can't help but feel that it's somehow our fault.
No. It's mine more than yours. All this time I've just been enjoying myself, when maybe I should have been thinking more about Alice.
No, don't say that. You have been a wonderful father. A husband, too.
No, I haven't. Maybe if I had gone and been an architect, I don't know, something Alice could have been proud of. I felt that way all last night looking at Mr. Kirby.
We've been so happy, Paul.
I know. And I used to think that was enough. But I just don't know anymore. Kind of all mixed up.
What time is she going?
Pretty soon. Train leaves 7:30.
If only she sees Tony. Maybe he could persuade her and they could...
But she won't. Penny has been trying all day.
Where is he now?
I don't know. Suppose walking around the block again. Anyhow, it won't help. She won't talk to him.
Maybe he could catch her as she's leaving and then they could...
Penny, it won't help.
No, I don't suppose it will. Grandpa!
Now, Penny, let the girl alone.
Yes, Grandpa.
Suppose she goes to the Adirondacks. She'll be back. You can take just as much Adirondacks then you come home.
It's all so terrible, Dad.
In a way, but it has its bright sides too.
How do you mean?
Well, seeing Mr. Kirby get into the patrol wagon for one thing. And the look on his face when he and Donald had to take a bath together. I'll never forget that if I live to be 100. And I warn you people, I intend to. If I can have things like that going on.
You should have seen Mrs. Kirby's face when the matron searched her. There was this dancer there who kept singing this strip song while she was searched.
Yeah, I'll bet you Bar Harbor's going to seem pretty dull to the Kirbys this summer. Yep. Need any help, Alice?
No, thanks, Grandpa. I'm just going to press these.
But Alice, you're...
I'll bring the big bag down as soon as you're ready, Alice.
Thank you.
Do you want to take some candy along for the train, Alice?
No thanks, Essie.
But Alice, you could be just as alone here as you could in the mountains. You could stay in your room all of the time.
Oh, I have to be by myself. Away from everybody. I love you all, you know that, but I have to go away for a while. I'll be all right. Father, did you phone for a cab?
No, I didn't know you wanted one.
I thought I told Mr. DePinna to tell you. Did he not tell you, Paul?
Oh, he told me, but I forgot.
Oh, I wish I lived in a family that didn't always forget everything, that behaved the way other people's do. I'm so sick of cornflakes and Donald and everything. Why can't we be like other people? Roast beef and 2 vegetables, doilies on the table, a place you can bring your friends to without... Ugh. I'll see if I can do anything.
Tony, go talk to her. She's in the kitchen.
Thanks. Alice, won't you listen to me, please?
Tony, it's no use.
Alice, you're not being fair. At least let me talk to you.
upstairs.
She walked right out the minute he came in.
Knocked the olive oil right out of my hand. I'm going to smell kind of fishy.
How are you feeling, Mr. DePena? Hand still hurting you?
No, it's better.
Everything burnt up, huh? Downstairs?
Everything. And my Roman costume, too.
I told you there was a bright side to everything. All except my 23 years back income tax. I get another letter every day.
Say, what are you going to do about that, Grandpa?
Well, I had a sort of an idea yesterday. I'm not sure it's going to work, but I'm trying it anyhow.
Well, what is it?
Well, you see, I'm planning...
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Kalinkov.
Hello?
Forgive me, the door was open.
No, come on.
I hope you will forgive my appearance. I realize you are all upset.
Oh, it's all right, Mr. Kalinkov.
I don't think I can take a lesson today, Mr. Kalinkov. I don't feel up to it.
Well,
Oh, but do stay for dinner. I mean, we have all that food out there, and well, someone's got to eat it.
I would be happy to, Madame Sycamore.
Fine.
Now, I wonder if I know you all well enough to ask you of a great favor.
Why, yes, of course, Mr. Kalinkov. What is it?
You have heard me talk about my friend, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina.
Yes.
She is a great woman, the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. She is a cousin of the Tsar of Russia. And today, she worked in Child's restaurant, Times Square.
Yes, and if there's anything we can do to help...
I tell you, the Grand Duchess has not had a good meal since before the revolution.
She must be hungry.
And today is not only her day off, but it is also the anniversary of Peter the Great, a remarkable man.
Why, Mr. Kalinkov, do you mean you would like us to have the Grand Duchess for dinner? Why, we'd be honored.
Oh, yes.
In the name of the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina, I thank you.
Oh, this is all so exciting. Where is she now?
She's out in the street. I go get her!
And straighten your tie and see her dress. Oh dear, how do I like to look fine?
Well,
Oh, no.
if this keeps on, I want to live to be 150.
I present to you the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina! Your Highness, permit me to present to you Madame Sycamore, Madame Carmichael, Grandpa, Mr. Carmichael, Mr. Sycamore, and Mr. DePena.
All right now, Mr. DePena.
Oh, Your Highness, would you please be seated? Your Highness, thank you. You are most kind. We are honored to receive you, Your Highness.
I am most happy to be here. How soon is it now?
Oh, soon. Very soon.
Oh, I do not mean to be rude, but I must be back at the restaurant by 8 o'clock. I am substituting for another waitress.
I will make sure you are on time, Your Highness.
Thank you, Kalinkov.
You know, Highness, I think you waited on me in Child's once. The 72nd Street place.
No, that was my sister.
The Grand Duchess, Natasha.
I work in Times Square.
Oh.
Quite a lot of your folks living over here now, aren't there?
Oh, yes, many. There is my uncle, the Grand Duke Sergei. He's an elevator man at Macy's. A very nice man. But then there is my cousin, Prince Alexei. He will not speak to the rest of us because he works in Hattie Carnegie in the ladies' underwear department.
When he was selling hot dogs in Coney Island, he was willing to talk to you.
Kalinkov, our time is coming. My sister Natasha is studying to be a manicurist. Uncle Sergei's promised to make floor walker. And next month, I get transferred to Fifth Avenue Tiles. From there, it is only a step to shafts. And then we'll see what Prince Alexei says.
I think you've got him.
Your
telling me?
Yes.
Pardon me, but did you know the Tsar? Personally, I mean.
Of course, he was my cousin. It was terrible what happened, but perhaps it was for the best. Quite good to get a job now.
Pravda, that is true.
And poor relations are poor relations. It is the same in every family. My cousin's king of Sweden. He is very kind to us for about 10 years. Every once in a while he would send a money order. Then he said, I cannot go on. I'm not doing well myself, and I do not blame him.
No, of course not. Do you excuse me for just a moment?
Tell me, Grand Duchess, is it true what they say about Rasputin?
Duh. Everyone wants to know about Rasputin. Yes, dear sir, it is true. And how?
You don't say.
Your Highness, we need to watch the time.
Yes, I must not be late. The manager does not like me. He is a communist.
We'll be sure to have dinner soon. Essie, can you go into the kitchen and see if Reba needs any help?
I will love to. I am a very good cook.
Not on your day off, Your Highness.
I do not mind. Where's your kitchen?
Right through here. But you're the guest of honor, Your Highness.
I love to cook. Come on, Kalikoff. If they have some sour cream and patties, we'll make them blitzes.
Ah! Blitzes! Come, Pavlova, we show you something hot.
Say, the Duchess is all right, isn't she? Hey, Duchess, can I help?
Gee, she's got a wonderful face for a mask, hasn't she?
And she's quite a wonderful person, considering she's a duchess and all.
Wonderful what some people go through and still keep kind of happy, isn't it, Penny?
Yes. She made me forget about everything. For a minute there.
Suppose I should call the cab.
Oh, wait, Paul, they're here. Maybe Tony has convinced her to
Ed,
stay.
will you bring my bag down?
Don't do it, Ed.
Ed, please.
All right, Ed. Don't you know even this stubborn daughter in all 48 states?
That must be the cab.
If it is, it's certainly wonderful service.
Is Tony here, Alice?
Yes, he is. Come right in, Mr. Kirby.
How do you do?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Forgive my intruding. Tony, I want you to come home with me. Your mother is very upset.
Very well, Father. Bye, Alice.
Goodbye, Tony.
I need hardly to say that this is as difficult for Mrs. Kirby and myself as it is for you people. I'm sorry, but I'm sure you understand.
Well, yes. But, in a way, no. Now, I'm not the kind of person who tries to run other people's lives. But the fact of the matter is, Mr. Kirby, these two young people haven't got as much sense as you and I have.
Grandpa, will you please not do this?
Now I'm just talking to Mr. Kirby. A cat can look at a king, can't he?
Alice, would you like me to do that for you? No thanks, Mother.
Got quite a while before the train goes, Alice.
Will you send a cab to 761 Claremont? Right away, please? Yes, that's right. Thank you.
Alice.
Father.
Are you ready, Tony?
Now, Mr. Kirby. I suppose after last night you think this family is kind of crazy, no?
No, I wouldn't say that. Although, I'm not accustomed to going out to dinner and then spending the night in jail.
Well, you've got to remember, you came on the wrong night. Now, tonight, I bet you nothing will happen at all. Maybe.
Mr. Vanderhoff, it was not merely last night that convinced Mrs. Kirby and myself that this engagement would be unwise.
Father, I can handle my own affairs. Alice, for the last time, will you marry me?
Oh, Tony, I know exactly what your father means, and he's right.
No, he's not, Alice.
Alice, you're in love with this boy, and you're not marrying him because we're the kind of people we are.
Grandpa.
Now, I know you think the two families wouldn't get along. Well, maybe they wouldn't. But who's to say they're right and we're wrong?
Grandpa, I didn't say that. I only
Well,
feel it's...
what I feel is Tony's too nice a boy to wake up 20 years from now with nothing in his life but stocks and bonds.
How's that?
Yes, mixed up and unhappy, the way you are.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Vanderhoff, but I am a very happy man. Certainly I am.
I don't think so. What do you think you get your indigestion from? Happiness? No, sir. You get it because most of your time is spent doing things you don't want to do.
I don't do anything I don't want to do.
Yes, you do. You said so yourself. You said at the end of a week in Wall Street, you're pretty near crazy. Why do you keep on doing it?
Why do I keep on? Why? That's my business. A man can't give up his business.
Why not? You've got all the money you need. You can't take it with you.
That's a very easy thing to say, Mr. Vanderhoff. But I have spent my entire life building up my business.
And what's it got you? The same kind of mail every morning, same deals, same meetings, same dinners at night, same indigestion. Where does the fun come in? Don't you think there ought to be something more, Mr. Kirby? You must have wanted more than that when you started out. We haven't got too much time, you know, any of us.
Well, what do you expect me to do? Live the way you people do? Do nothing?
Well, I have a lot of fun. Time enough for everything. Read, talk, practice my darts, visit the zoo now and then, even have time to notice when spring comes around. I don't see anybody I don't want to, and I don't have 6 hours of things I have to do before I get 1 hour of what I like in. And I haven't taken bicarbonate of soda in 35 years. Now, what's the matter with that?
What's the matter with that? Suppose we all did that. A fine world we'd live in, Mr. Vanderhoff. Everybody going to zoos. Don't be ridiculous. Who would do the work?
Well, there's always people that like to work. You can't stop them. Inventions, and they fly the ocean. There's always people that go down to Wall Street, too, because they like it. But from what I've seen of you, I don't think you're one of them. I think you're missing something.
I am not aware of missing anything.
Well, I wasn't either until I quit. I used to get down to that office at 9 o'clock sharp, no matter how I felt. Used to lay awake at nights for fear I wouldn't get that deal or contract. Used to worry about the world, too. Got all worked up about whether Cleveland or Blaine was going to be elected president. Seemed awful important at the time, but who cares now? I guess what I'm saying, Mr. Kirby, is I've had 35 years that no one can take away from me, no matter what they do to the world. Do you see?
Yes, I do see. And it's a very dangerous philosophy, Mr. Vanderhoff. It's un-American. And it's exactly why I'm opposed to this marriage. I don't want Tony coming under its influence.
What's the matter with it, Father?
The matter with it? Why, it's downright communism, that's what it is.
You didn't always think so.
I most certainly did. What are you talking about?
You didn't always think so. Because there was a time where you wanted to be a trapeze artist.
What? Now, don't be an idiot, Tony.
Oh, yes, you did. I came across those letters you wrote to Grandfather. Do you remember those?
No, how dare you read those letters? How dare you?
Mr. Kirby, did you happen to wear tights?
Certainly not. The whole thing was absurd. I was 14 at the time.
Yes, but at 18, you wanted to be a saxophone player, didn't you?
Tony,
And at 21, you ran away from home because grandfather wanted you to go into business. It's all down there in black and white. You didn't always think so.
well, well, well. I may have had some silly notions in my youth, but thank goodness my father knocked them out of me. I went into the business and I forgot all about them.
Not altogether. There's still a saxophone in your back clothes closet.
There is.
That's enough, Tony. We'll discuss this later.
No. I want to talk about it now. I think Mr. Vanderhoff is right. Dead right. I'm never going back to that office. I've always hated it. And I'll tell you something else. I did make a mistake last night. I knew it was the wrong night, and I brought you here on purpose.
Tony! Oh my goodness.
Because I wanted to wake you up. I wanted to show you a real family, as they really were. A family that loved and understood each other. You don't understand me. You never had time. Well, I'm not making your same mistake. I'm clearing out.
Clearing out? What do you mean you're clearing out?
I mean, I'm not just being pushed into business just because I'm your son. I'm getting out while there's still time.
But Tony, what are you going to do?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be a bricklayer. At least I'll do something I want to do.
Oh, that must be the cab.
Tell it to wait a minute, Ed.
Grandpa.
Do you mind, Alice? You know, Mr. Kirby, I think Tony is going through just what you and I did when we were his age. I think if you listen hard enough, you can hear yourself saying the same things to your father 25 years ago. We all did it, and we were right. How many of us would be willing to settle when we're young for what we eventually get? All those plans we make, what happens to them? It's only a handful of lucky ones that can look back and say they even came close. So before they pack up that closet, Mr. Kirby, I think I'd get in a few good hours on that saxophone.
I beg your pardon, but before I make the bleances, how many will there be to dinner?
Your Highness, may I present Mr. Anthony Kirby and Mr. Kirby Jr., the Grand Duchess Olga Katrina.
How's that?
Oh dear, dear. But before I make the bleances, how many will there be to dinner?
Oh, I'd make quite a stack of them, Your Highness. Can't ever tell.
Ah, good. Sir always told me, Olga, never be stingy with the bleances.
Pardon me, but who did you say that was, Mr. Vanderhoff?
The Grand Duchess Olga Katrina. She's cooking dinner. Oh, speaking of dinner, Mr. Kirby, why don't you and Tony both stay?
Yes, how about it? I mean, we have all that food that we were going to have last night. I mean, tonight.
How about it? It's going to be a pretty nice dinner, and it'll get us a chance to get acquainted. Why not stay?
How about it, Father? Are we staying for dinner?
Why, if you'd care to, Tony, then I'd like to. Very much.
All right.
Now, if Alice will send away that cab, Mr. Vanderhoff.
How about it, Alice? It's going to be a pretty nice crowd. Don't you think you ought to stay for dinner?
I'm staying, Alice. The families ought to get to know each other, don't you think?
Oh, Mr. Kirby. Tony, oh, Tony. You're wonderful, Grandpa.
Oh, I've been telling you that for years.
Grandma, there's a letter for you. It was in the icebox.
I'll let Grandpa see it.
How do you do, Mr. Kirby?
How do you do?
Now, Miss Sycamore, how would you like to step in the office? I'd like to do a little dictating.
I'd better tell that cab.
Well, well, well.
What is it, Grandpa?
The United States government apologizes. I don't owe him a nickel. It seems I died 8 years ago.
Why, what do they mean, Grandpa?
Remember Charlie the milkman, buried under my name?
Yes.
Well, I've just told them they made a mistake, and I'm Martin Vanderhoff Jr. So they're very sorry, and I might even get a refund.
Why, Grandpa, you're an old crook.
Sure.
Pardon me, but how did you say you escaped the income tax?
Tonight, my friends, we are going to eat!
Hello there.
How do you do?
Oh, fine, fine. Glad to see you. What has happened?
He's relaxing. That's right, play something, Ed.
Everything will be ready in a bit. You can all sit down. All right, everyone, dinner's ready. Mr. Kirby, would you like to please sit down?
Yes, I'm coming.
Essie, stop dancing. Time for dinner.
You really like Russian food, Mr. Kirby?
Oh, you must be careful of your indigestion.
Nonsense. I haven't any indigestion.
Now, Miss Sycamore, how was your trip to the Adirondacks?
Shut your face, Mr. Kirby.
In Russia, when they sit down to dinner, they grab the plate of green.
Quiet, everyone. Quiet. Well, sir, here we are again. We want to say thank you once more for everything you've done for us. Things seem to be going along fine. Alice is going to marry Tony, and it looks as if they're going to be very happy. Of course, the fireworks blew up, but that was Mr. DePino's fault, not yours. We've all got our health, and as far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave it to you. Thank you.
Mr. Kirby, would you like to
Oh,
discuss
Grandpa,
that
I just heard from my friend in Siberia. He skipped again. It's my
Mr. Kirby, I'm going to dance with you.
You know, you're a talented musician. Tell me about the music.
Well, here goes the Adirondacks.
And a very good thing, too.